Once upon a time, there was a seaman who became a seaman, and then he found cigars. A while later, in 1996, a time when most family households didn't have a computer, a pioneer gave birth to the blog.
I need a place where I can log all my bullshit. A bullshit log, if you will. I'll call it a blog, for short.
And thus, Steve Saka gave birth to Cigars Nexus, one of the first ever cigar blogs. Later, he would become CEO of Drew Estate Cigars.
Cool.
Helping them reach a liga of their own.
Cool.
Then he started his own premium cigar company.
Snicker.
And that is where he gave birth to the Sobremesa Brulee Blue. Meanwhile, in the rat-infested swamps of Central Florida was another man. He went to high school in Orlando, and then college in Orlando, and then he opened up a cigar shop in Orlando, and then he started growing tobacco in Orlando. Today, that company is known as Florida Sungrown.
Hi, I'm Jeff Borysiewicz, and I grow tobacco in a small town you may have heard of. It's Disney World.
That brings us to present day when Steve Saka posted this.
Just finished a morning walk. Smoked a Sobremesa Brulee Blue. I'm officially declaring that this is the greatest, tastiest Connecticut shade cigar ever. No worthy rivals, past, present, or future. This is the one and only P.S. Don't be hating on the truth. Snicker. Snicker.
I love Steve's confidence. He has earned every ounce of it. Wait, hold on.
Ah, that's better. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, my current favorite Connecticut shade cigar is the 20 Acre Farm by Drew Estate, made with Florida Sungrown tobacco. Now this cigar has an Ecuadorian Connecticut shade wrapper, a Honduran Habano binder, long fillers from Esteli and Jalapa Valley, and of course, the Florida Sungrown tobacco. Honestly, to name it after the Florida farm, the 20 Acre Farm, there's not very much FSG Tobacco in here. Pit that against Steve Saka's Sobremesa Brulee Blue. This cigar here also boasts an Ecuadorian Connecticut shade wrapper. It has a Mexican Matacapa binder. I don't even know what that is, but it's fun to say. And it's interesting because you don't hear about too many cigars using a Mexican binder. And the fillers consist of Nicaraguan Esteli, Condega, and Puebla Nueva, which is new for me, so I had to look it up. Turns out it's right next to Condega. Very similar soils, I'm guessing there. I might be wrong. I'm gonna have to ask Steve about that at PCA. For this video, I'm gonna be doing what many experts that rate cigars do for the big magazines like Cigar Aficionado and Cigar Journal and all those, which is I'm gonna smoke these at the same time. That is the only way to get a true sense of which one is better, by having the same palate after the same meal while drinking the same spirit, which is my Kentucky Owl Confiscated. And I love it. You should go get it if you can find it. This will be interesting. I've never smoked two cigars side by side or at the same time. This will be my first time doing it. Let's get into it and see how it goes. I have actually stored both of these cigars side by side in the same humidor for over a month to make sure that they're in the same exact conditions. That way we can really give it a good test. I can already tell this is going to be a test of my will because lighting two cigars back to back has already gotten me a little bit of, you know. Let's switch back and forth and see how it goes. Okay, that is a very nice flavor right there. Getting like some earthy, leathery tobaccos. I don't understand why some cigars, they're so strong right there at the tip. But this has come into itself very nicely already. There we go. That's the 20 Acre Farm I know and love. The flavors are starting to come up now. That's a good cigar. So far, I have to give it to the Brulee Blue. Steve, you make a great cigar. That is smooth and creamy though. They're both great cigars. This is a tough one. But this is why you have to go out and try cigars for yourself. Everyone's palate is so different, even when it comes to sensing the body of a cigar and how often you smoke and all these other factors, what you drink, what you eat, these things really affect how you experience cigars. That's why you just gotta try cigars yourself. You can't read what other people are saying. Honestly, I love when I do my research for these, I am always online looking for the average price, so I check out all the online sources. One thing I notice is that the experts that give you the flavor profiles, they're all totally different. They all experience different flavor profiles in these cigars, and those are the experts with the great palates that are writing on, Cigars International and Cigar Dojo and Blind Man's Puff, and this seems to have a little bit more flavor, in my opinion, but they're both great cigars. All right, the Sobremesa Brulee Blue is definitely smoking a little bit faster, which is to be expected. It's a smaller Vitola, but both of these cigars are still great, and they're starting to develop a little bit more. So the Sobremesa seems to be going in that woody, nutty, oaky region of flavor, which is not my favorite, but I know a lot of people that love that. And the 20 Acre Farm is just staying in that creamy, buttery, delicious realm. Now I want to point out that both of these cigars have a razor thin burn line, so they're both excellently constructed. Very smooth, very good, easy to smoke. A little bit tighter draw, but that's to be expected again on a smaller Vitola. Still creamy, a little bit more pepper on that one, but very enjoyable. And the draw on this is just like, it's almost too easy, but not. Get off me. So we're almost halfway through with this one, and we're barely ending the first third on this one, which is interesting. Now my palate is not the most refined. I've broken my nose several times in my life, so I can't do a retrohale, which means I can't get extra flavors. Every once in a while I do it by accident, but it's very rare. But I would say that I have a more common smoker's palate. Those guys out there, which are the rarer breed that smoke 1 to 2 cigars a day, you might get a lot more out of this one than I do. But they're both great for casual and newer smokers. You can't go wrong with either one of them, really. I have to say, as I get to this point in each cigar, I'm starting to enjoy the Brulee Blue a little bit more. The flavors at the halfway point are pretty nice. Let's ash these off, wet the palate, and see how it tastes with that. Because when you're smoking 2 cigars at the same time, your palate goes dry fairly quickly. Now, I did hear something recently that I found interesting, and I think I heard it from an interview with Steve Saka, which is that when you have a cigar that you naturally enjoy, your mouth salivates and creates a little bit more water. And when you don't enjoy it, it doesn't do that, and you get a drier and drier mouth. So just by biology, your body can tell you whether you like a cigar or not. So that's one of those between the heart and mind kind of situations. All right. Who pairs better with a spicy Kentucky bourbon? I cannot stress enough how important it is to have a good pairing with your cigar. This thing was getting a little peppery and spicy, and now after that little sip I just had, it is so smooth and buttery and delicious. Beautiful cigar. Let's do the same thing. What did I get in there? Is that a little piece of tobacco in my drink? And now it's a little piece of tobacco in my mouth. Now again, interesting, pairing that with a strong, spicy bourbon. It tones down those flavors a lot, makes it smoother, but now it's not as flavorful. This might be more enjoyable with a glass of water, or maybe a much lighter, smoother bourbon or whiskey like a Macallan 12 or 18 right there, which is to be expected because Steve Saka likes the finer things in life, so why not pair his cigars with the finer things in life? Well, I'm just about halfway done with the 20 Acre Farm, and I'm almost finished with the Sobremesa Brulee Blue. It's actually gotten a little bit creamier towards the end, which is very surprising. I don't think ever had a cigar get creamier towards the end. That's a nice, lovely little surprise to have. Still very creamy. Getting a little bit of that white pepper back in the mix, and also a great cigar. One thing you have to take into account is I've been smoking these cigars puff for puff. Every time I took a puff of one of these, I took a puff of one of these. And this is halfway done. So you're getting a lot more bang for your buck when it comes to this cigar. If you're in a rush and you want to enjoy a good cigar, this is a great 45-minute to 1 hour smoke. This guy over here, I would say you probably need 60 to 90 minutes, maybe even 2 hours. So if you got the time, this is your boy right here. They're both incredibly good cigars. I know nobody likes to hear that. Everyone wants a definitive winner, but you can't go wrong either way. This one is easier to find. This one, you have to go to a shop that carries a lot more of the DTT facings, so it's harder to come by. Either way, these are both fantastic cigars. You will enjoy them both, I promise you.
Well, there you have it. 2 amazing cigars, different flavor profiles, still very delicious. One of them's a little bit pricier, a little bit harder to get, but still very delicious. The other one pairs better with whiskey, is easier to find, is a little bit cheaper, and smokes almost twice as long. You can't go wrong with either of these. I believe there's a clear winner here. Me. All in all, we have to thank Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust and Drew Estate for both bringing us such amazing cigars, and of course, Jeff Borysiewicz, however you say his name, for making such great tobacco.
Let me know in the comments below what your favorite Connecticut shade cigar is, no matter what the price point, and I will put those two head to head in my next Battle of the Connecticut Shade Cigars. Well, if you're smoking this guy, you're probably going to go about your day. But if you're smoking one of these, you probably have a little bit more time. Check out this video over here.